Okay. So Anna,
Thanks,
go
thanks,
ahead and
lady.
tell the audience over at YouTube what you got there.
I got a big ass rack of ribs, honey.
What do you think that weighs, Anna? Like about 5 pounds?
I say between 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. I should have looked at the wrapper, but they're
That's
pretty thick. Look at
yeah.
those.
And now they're thick and they look very
I've
full.
already put some spice rub on there because we were shooting earlier today. Product shots. You want to see them? You want to see the
Yeah,
little
show what
products?
you got.
These are
Yeah.
mock-ups. These are what they're
Oh,
going to look like. We got the little barbecue dust right there.
nice.
With a
Barbecue
little,
dust.
a little.
I like that dust.
That's what
Yeah.
this one is. We
Yeah.
got the taco seasoning. That one has product in it.
Anna,
And we got
you know
the
what?
dill, which is the ranch seasoning. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
Anna, as you know, I make
Mhm.
taco shellless tacos, I guess
Yeah,
it's called.
that's what the taco seasoning's
Yeah, I
for.
just take like a pound of ground beef. I just throw it in my
Yeah.
big large skillet, and while it's
Mhm.
browning down, I just sprinkle the taco. I get a really good one, folks. I
Well,
wish
now
I
you're
knew
going
the
to get
name,
an
but I
even
don't.
better one.
Yeah, I
Well,
cannot wait
don't
to
tell
do
them
it.
that. Tell them to make the one and eat happy.
Hey guys,
It's probably one of my most popular recipes in Eat Happy is the taco seasoning mix. So why not make it and
yeah,
sell it to the people
exactly.
in bulk?
That's right, folks. You want to get some bulk
And that's what
taco
this is.
seasoning? You want to go over to Anna Vocino, and she's going to do it. So
Mhm.
Anna,
Yeah.
I got some vegan propaganda stuff to talk about today.
Okay. And I
Also,
have a
I want to talk
keto
about.
diet
Hang on,
ad.
I wasn't done. I
Go
want to
ahead.
talk about placeholder style workouts. It's something that I created years ago. I called it the placeholder. And so those are the
Mhm.
two things I have. What do you have over there?
I am going to be making this rack of ribs with the barbecue dust. I'm going to hand it off to Lauren, who's
Rack.
ready
She
at the
said
grill.
rack.
I did. And then I'm going to make I bought an eggplant for a prop. I swear it's just a prop.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a little eggplant farm. So I got to start sweating that soon. But I'm just going to, while you talk about stuff, look at this. I'm going to get the rest of this. By the way, if you ever want to know how to use a barbecue rub, you just rub it all over. That's the directions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it on both sides. Oh, shit.
Anna doesn't mess around. Yeah, get that other
No.
side going, Anna. Here you go.
Now, I know that you don't eat the other side of the ribs, but you might get the in-between meat. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you're right.
saying?
Anna, I
You want
would
that
do it.
in-between meat.
It's called being
And
thorough.
you want to get the sides. Yeah, you want to get the side. You want to get that flavor all over. We're going to rub it right in. It's smoky. It's savory. It's real freaking good. And this is the sample from the co-packer. So that's why I have to try it on a bunch of different meats to make sure it's what I want. This is the 4th iteration, and I've already made it a bunch, so I'm pretty sure this is the one we're going to go with. And oh my God, that's gorgeous. Now, spice rubs. Most of the time they come with some kind of filler, some kind of cornstarch, some kind of something, some kind of, which I can understand why they do that because spices stick together, but I'm not doing that. I don't put crap into things. I know why they do it, but it doesn't make it right.
Anna has crapless rubs.
I have crapless rubs. Hello, look at my hands.
Yeah, full of crap.
Crapless. No, not full of crap. Not full of crap, Jenny. Hold on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is good podcasting we got going right there, Anna.
Listen, you guys, do we have to do a whole episode on sanitation and cleanliness? Because I will. Yeah. I'll talk about washing our hands for 20 minutes.
She will talk about that shit like there's no tomorrow.
I'm going to hand this over to Lauren. Lauren, it's ready for you. And we'll see if we're done in time. This is done in time. Oh, let me tell you guys how this is going to be done. He's got the heat up to what? 300, 350? Yeah, ish. You're on camera if you walk over here. That's fine. Okay. Say hello then.
Get into camera some more. There we go. Get into
camera and say hello.
Say hi.
I can't hear anything. Yeah, no, he says say hi. Give me this. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to put that on the direct heat. Yeah. I know, but I'm telling them. So I'm just confirming with you that's what you're doing, right? He's like, yeah. Put on the direct heat, flip it, put on the direct heat, 300, 350, or are you going to get hot for a sear?
I'm going to put it on when the temperature goes into the meat, then I'll adjust the temperature of the grill.
You put it down. And then he's going to turn one of the burners off on the grill and let it cook on the indirect heat because you got the sear on it, right? And then you just kind of want to slow cook it because you don't want it to get overdone. I would sear it about 7 minutes aside. It's got bones in it, so it's pretty forgiving. And another thing you can do is do your sear and then put it on some foil if you're worried that the heat's going to make it too hot. You can always put it on foil. The good thing about grilling is very forgiving, so you can try all kinds of methods. If you want to take apple cider vinegar and mop it, do the mop, you can do that too, just to really get those flavors in there. But you don't have to. I'm going to cut eggplant and sweat it while you start talking.
Anna, I'm going to start talking about Belcampo, belcampo.com.
Ooh.
I love this company. I can't get enough of it. You want to go to Belcampo to get all of your meats, all of your meat needs. You get your pork, you get your beef, get it all at Belcampo, belcampo.com. You want to save 20%? That's right. We're still at 20%, folks. I actually spoke to a guy the other day and he said, yeah, I've now gone to 3 different neighbors to use their IP address. I was saying that as a joke, but people are actually doing it. He's gone to 3 different neighbors.
I love that you're telling people how to rip off.
The people who are paying my bills. Mm-hmm. But look, I mean, we're trying to get more people in the door. So the way we do it is go visit your neighbor. They could buy for them. They could buy for you. And then you got someone else going to Belcampo. So it's a win-win. I think Belcampo is okay with that. Besides, I think Anya listens to the podcast. So if this was a problem, I would have gotten a phone call by now. Belcampo.com.
Can't hear you.
BELCAMPO. You want to save 20%, put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE. The beef there is, it can only simply be described as unbelievable. The pork is incredible. Do not fall asleep on the NSNG style meatballs. They are NSNG friendly. Also, they have the bone stock. You want to get that.
The bone broth?
The bone broth, yeah. So go check it out. Belcampo.com. Promo code Vinnie for 20% off your first time. And if you spend over $100 after the 20% discount, free shipping, and that's a big deal. Promo code Vinnie will get you free shipping over $100 total. So go check out belcampo.com. Promo code Vinnie, 20% off. Okay, Anna.
Sweating eggplants over here, Vin.
I see you got your eggplants. You know, that's one of the few foods I won't eat is the eggplant.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I like the
But I bought it for a prop, so I'm going to use it. I'm sweating it, which means I'm just putting a little bit of salt. Shout out to our friends at Redmond's.
Mm.
Putting a little bit of salt on there, and I'm going to let it sit. And what'll happen is that it'll start to draw the water out, and it'll kind of like put little beads of sweat, and I'll dry it off. And then I'm going to bread it. You can do an egg wash if you want. I'm not going to, but you can easily do that. There's a million ways to bread. You can use almond flour. I'm going to use the crushed up pork rinds. And I might throw a little flax meal in there just for a little extra. It gives it a little extra crunch in the coating.
Okay.
And garlic powder, onion powder. And then that's going to be what I make. And then I'm going to use a jar of Eat Happy marinara and put cheese on it for Lauren. And then that's it.
Hey, Anna, you mind reading to me the ingredients on the back of that flaxseed? Just for me and the audience, I want to see what we got there.
Whole flaxseed.
That's it?
That's all it says. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, folks, whenever I say flaxseed oil is horrible, I stand by that. Seed oils are an abomination, but seeds, not so bad. So flax seeds are fine. Chia seeds are fine. People ask me about what other kind of seeds?
Sesame seeds, sunflower seeds.
Sunflower, all of them are fine. It's just when they turn it into an oil, the process turns it into a carcinogen, something it's like taking liquid cigarettes. So flaxseed, fine. Flaxseed.
I'm going to amend that for fine. One item.
Go on.
One item and one item only, because it's very easy to make cold pressed sesame oil. And whenever you use sesame oil, it's just you use a drop or two in a recipe. So you're not gonna. It's not one of those things that's it's not processed. The cold pressed. I'm talking about the nice stuff. The nice stuff. Yeah, that's fine. But yes, I hear you on that.
Okay. So Anna, let me get the vegan.
I'm still listening to you. I'm just grabbing stuff.
Okay, let me get the vegan thing going here. And
yeah, do it.
Hey, you guys. I feel like when I say this, you guys are going, yeah. I'm working on my third movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of hoopla and promo around this movie. Unlike the second movie where I just hustled and hustled because I wanted to get out during the pandemic so people can have something to watch. This movie is going to have a lot of fanfare around it. And I'm going after subjects that everyone else is completely afraid to go after.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Anna, you may have heard me say in the past that I will have any of these vegan doctors that want to come on my show and have a debate with me. We can debate.
Right.
But before we start any debate, they first have to explain that without exogenous B12, how in the hell a vegan is supposed to get B12 and other important nutrients that will come from meat that you can only get from meat. And once they can answer that successfully, we can move on to any debate they want to move on to. As of yet, and this show's been going on 9 years, I don't have any of the top vegan doctors. You know, and by the way,
don't they claim that there is a B12 that you can get naturally? From plants?
Well, you could get it from dirt, but okay. But not enough to sustain life. Anyway, and by the way, I don't want your vegan friend I want one of the leaders of the vegan community, right? I want, I
don't want your vegan friend.
I want
just
Google,
that should be a bumper sticker. I don't want your vegan friends.
I don't want your vegan friends. But, everybody's like, I know someone knows a lot. It's like, no, they don't. They're all preaching the same crap. I can probably, if I wanted to pretend to be a vegan, I could do it better than a vegan because I know every one of their tropes. I know exactly how they do it and why they do it. You can't bullshit it. Well, Anna, in my movie, I wanted to have legit conversations with vegan doctors. So I went out to some of the top doctors in the vegan world, ones you hear about, the Griegers, the McDougals. I went to Walter Willett over at Harvard. I went to these top guys and they didn't have to answer the B12 question. I wasn't going to ask that. I just wanted to get an honest dialogue from vegan doctors in my movie. Out of all the doctors I sent letters to, Anna, how many of them do you think wrote back to me and said, I would love to be in your movie?
2.
Well, I am going to finish shooting this Friday. And the only 2 people I have to shoot that's left is Nina Teicholz. She's got a small role in this movie, and Dr. Mitt Lerner, who's got a bigger role.
Okay. Who's Mitt Lerner? I'm taking it he's not a vegan doctor?
No.
So I'm wrong. I'm off by 2.
Well, those are the only 2 people I have to finish, recording before I'm done recording. I've recorded everyone else I'm going to record for this.
I still feel like you're going to say 0 after all.
Well, I had some interesting answers.
Okay.
And by the way, I have them in email form. So if people think I'm kidding, I will show these emails, some of them in my movie. Because the truth.
Do they say go F yourself, Mr. George?
Well, McDougall ended up yelling at poor Megan. I'm actually bringing Megan on for a Saturday show to talk about how she was yelled at through emails just for working for me. That she got yelled at because she's my assistant. Wow. Can you imagine? Do you know who you're working for? This kind of shit. Yeah. So it drives me just a little crazy. Walter Willett said, he gets way too many requests and he's way too busy to do this. Mm-hmm. That was his answer.
Sure. Okay.
Not going to stop me from dragging his ass through the mud in the movie because he's got a lot of it. And look, I wanted him to answer. I wanted him to answer real questions about what's going on with Unilever. I wanted him to answer questions about how they come up with some of the studies they come up with and put it out there. And, I had real questions for this guy. Nope, can't come on. Can't answer those questions, right? I was going to even give him a chance to push the vegan agenda and change my mind. Hey, Doc, you have the stage. Change my mind. Mm-hmm. Right? You're working with the World Health Organization. You guys are starting all this stuff. Change my mind. Right? You got the Global Health Initiative. You got, let's see, I got all my stuff right here. Look, right here, folks, I have it. These are all the questions and answers I have for these doctors. I wanted to know about Eat Lancet. I wanted them to tell me about that. The planetary health diet. I wanted to know about that. I want to know about the great food transformation. I'm not making this shit up.
What
it's
are those
out there.
Are those all directives from them? What is that?
Yeah,
what
and they're pushing all the great reset. You know, I want to know what all these words mean. I want to know what Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger is, and I want to know why every meat company out there is going into this business. These are the questions I want answered. I want to know how, since we're trying to save the fucking planet, that we're going to make engineered foods in a factory and ship this shit around the world. Lots of it coming from China, folks. I want to know how that's better than cow farts. I need to know. I need to know how diesel being bellowed out into the atmosphere, CO2, like there's no tomorrow. I need to know why that is, right? Yeah. Now, that was one. Dr. Grieger, when I asked him to be in my movie, I didn't give him a particular date. We simply said, hi, Dr. Grieger, we would love to have you be in the movie. And his answer was, I'm busy that day. Well, okay.
The day you're shooting your movie, whatever day that is, I'm busy.
You're busy that day.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We didn't give you a day. Is there a day that will work for you? Yeah, no, I'm busy writing my next book. Okay, good. You should get busy
not
with
the first time we've heard that excuse, by the way.
Okay. Dr. McDougall. Now, you might remember McDougall. He was the guy that yelled at poor Jimmy Moore all those years ago. Remember that? Right. He just went on Jimmy's show and just berated the guy. He berated and by the way, if you guys, I'm bringing Megan on a Saturday show. He berated my poor Megan like there was no tomorrow. You should see the emails.
Both Jimmy and Megan are literally both some of the most lovely people you'll ever meet. Very affable, delightful people.
Absolutely.
There's no way that Jimmy was coming for him. No way.
And you'll see the emails. Megan is simply saying, hello, doctor. You know, with every bit of respect we show everyone else. We would like you to be in this movie. We would like to get your views. We would like, what's this about? Vinny Tortorich has written 2 movies and has put 2 movies out there. Does he know who I am? Does he really want me in his movie? Yes, Dr. McDougall, he would love to have you in his movie because he's trying to get down to the bottom of what is, you know, he's trying to do a very fair movie. He's got that fraud, Nina Teicholz. By the way, he was the only one that wanted to know everyone else that was in the movies. Not one other doctor asked that question. Not one. Not for 1 second did anyone else say who else is in a movie. One person, Dr. McDougall. Dr. McDougall needs to know who else is in the movie besides him, and then starts crapping on Megan over who. Does he realize that Nina Teicholz is a fraud and a fake? Really? Because Nina never said that about you. She didn't even ask if you were going to be in the movie. You know, and not only Nina, he went after who else? He went after Frederic Leroy, who's one Lacroix, as you would say in French, one of the guys in my movie. Went after that guy. Doesn't know what he's talking about. No, the guy just happens to be a PhD and one of the smartest fucking people on the planet. That's why he's in my movie. And when you hear what these people have to say, and what I've uncovered, you will lose your shit, folks. I'm putting this movie, I'm not even done taping yet. And I'm getting this thing out. I'm working day and night. If I start to sound frazzled and look frazzled, it's because I'm working on this thing day and night. The worst thing that happened to the world was teaching me how to make a fucking movie. That was the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone on this planet today. Show that WAP how to make a movie.
Yeah.
Turns out it ain't that hard. You just interview people and you put it together. Bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a movie. Right? So at any rate, it's just all driving me nuts. If you think these people are saying, oh, by the way, Lear Keith is in the movie.
Right.
Oh my God. I feel like just taking her interview and making that its own movie. Just call it Lear. You know, Queen Lear. And just
Queen
put it
Lear.
out. Queen
There you
Lear.
go.
And just put it out there.
Yeah.
See what I did there, Anna?
I did.
The woman,
Very.
the woman is a quote machine.
Yeah.
She's a quote machine. I mean, I'm sitting there going, how do I get all this in? How do I get it in? I have a farmer. I'm not saying his name yet. I have a soybean farmer coming in talking about all the death that has to occur just for animals, just for plants to be consumed. It's a lot, folks. It's not.
So let me ask you a question.
It's not like a lizard gets it every now and again. It's a lot of animals that die that go uneaten by anything and anyone.
That's true.
Go on, Anna.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say Grieger agreed to be in the movie. You know how like sometimes I'll watch Bill Maher and then folks from an opposite political spectrum of him will be on the show, right?
Right.
So let's say he did agree to be on it and he wasn't being such a wuss about it.
Okay.
What types of questions would you ask, and would any answer he gave satisfy you?
Well, it doesn't have to satisfy me. These 2 pages of questions, Anna, that I have right here, there are 19 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got asked the same 19 questions.
Okay.
Except for Mitt Lerner, who's going to get 3 extra questions.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they have to do with what it's his field of expertise. But as a matter of fact, I'm looking at Mitt Lerner's 3 questions. I would have probably asked these 3 questions to all the vegan doctors too. Yeah. One of them has to do with global warming. One has to do with food waste. And I won't even tell you what the third one is. It's kind of a secret. But I would have asked the vegans the same. There was no second set of questions. And
so
by the way,
the idea that you just wanted to say, let's have you on to show your perspective.
Absolutely. I wasn't trying to hammer anyone. It's not up to me to decide. I'm not the decider, as they say, Anna.
Right.
I'm just trying to get to the truth. And there's another side who vehemently disagrees with me. And like Bill Maher, I would like to bring these people to the table and hear their side. There was a time on this podcast, and most people won't remember this because you're newer and people don't go back and listen to the old podcast. Early on, one of my best friends is one of the leaders in the vegan community, Rich Roll. We used to ride bikes together. I say used to because I used to live in LA. I don't live there anymore. But Rich Roll has written books. He's got a vegan podcast. He rides bikes. He does all this stuff. He's kind of a cool guy. We lived in the same area. We had bike riding and all, running. We had all that in common, and we did it together. He would come over for dinner. I would go over for dinner. Vegans and carnivores getting along. No problem. Mm-hmm. Right? When he came to my house, we cooked vegan fare. When I went to his house, it's whatever you eat over there. I didn't even ask for meat. I wouldn't do that. Right. But I knew he wouldn't eat my meat. So I made extra vegetables for him and his family. That's what they had. Right. Maybe I boiled some rice. I don't know what Serena did it. Anyway, we got along and he came on the podcast 2 or 3 times. And then I went on his podcast when he started one. He saw how well mine was doing. He said, let me try this podcast thing. So he started his own podcast. And he had me come on, and he was being very cordial, let me speak my piece on his podcast. He got in trouble with the vegan community. They hammered him. You remember that whole deal, Anna?
Oh yeah.
They were like, why were you so nice to this guy? Why did you give him a pass? He wasn't giving me a pass. We were having a conversation.
Right.
There was a time in this country not so long ago when you could have a conversation.
If you had Grieger or whoever on, you would get shit for whatever you did. You just would. You just would.
And by the way,
people are so divided, and it's like, and you have to get back to some level of discourse. Like you have to be able to talk to each other.
I don't care if people are divided. I wouldn't have given Grieger any shit on in the interview. I would have let him say his piece, and I would have put his piece out there. Same with McDougal, same with Willett and whoever else I contacted. I would have given them their chance to talk what they wanted to talk about. And I wasn't going to counteract it or debate it. I was just going to let it sit there and let the audience decide.
And did you send that list of questions to them in advance?
No one got the questions.
No one got the questions in advance.
And no one asked for the questions in advance.
Oh, that's interesting.
And by the way, if one of them would have asked, I would have sent them.
See, I was going to say, I like to ask for the questions in advance. If there's going to be questions.
Look, the people I have, and nobody started. The only person, my medical doctor, he's a surprise. I wasn't. There was a couple of things he wasn't aware of because it has to do more with the global this and the global that. And he didn't understand the terms, but that's not why he was there anyway. And I told all of these people, you do not have to answer every question. And some of them didn't, right? But they all got the same questions. And I wasn't going to say, hey, Nina, watch this interview by McDougal and comment. See, that would be disingenuous.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to anyone. Just like I wouldn't, do that to Nina. I wouldn't go, hey, McDougal, Nina said this. Comment. Look at this. What do you want to say about that? That's not a documentary. That's what these news organizations, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, that's what they do. It's not news, right? It's what they want it to be. We started calling it fake news. It's fake news. It's made up. It's what do you call that? It's kind of like The View and all of that. It's all just like that.
It's just talking heads.
It's just commentary. It's not. It's not news. Walter Cronkite delivered the news, right? These people are giving you what looks like news, but they put it in their own light. And, it's funny now when Anna, you tell me if you and your husband has done this. Have you ever done a thing where your husband tells you something and you'll say, who wrote that? And you want to know whether it's Fox or CNN, right? Because if it's so outrageous, you want to know where it came from. And every time it either came from Fox or CNN or MSNBC. You already know because it's not news.
I actually have that thing with him because he is a joke writer and he writes jokes in his head so quickly and says them so quickly. I'm always like, who said that? Whose joke was that? He's like, it's mine. I just said it. I was like, no, but that's a joke already. He's like, no, I just said it. Screw you, lady. No faith.
Yeah.
No faith.
Come on. Have faith in the guy.
Can I show you what's going on here?
Yeah, you chopped up something. What's that?
I chopped up some heirloom tomatoes. I'm making Lauren a little caprese, super easy, but I figured we'd take this time to tell you about Villa Capelli olive oil.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that, Anna? What are you going to do with that Villa
Actually,
Capelli?
the first thing I'm going to do, always salt and pepper. Salt and pepper these things. You don't got to overdo it. Unless you love the salt, then you can. I will say I screwed up some bone broth the other day because I opened this and just dumped a whole bunch of salt in there, and I just didn't even think about it. Then I tasted it, and it was the grossest bone broth I've ever made. So it can happen to the best of us. I'm just doing salt and pepper, but here's where this gets really wonderful. You see that, Vin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's nice.
I do extra because it's so good. Can you see it on there?
Yeah. I want some of that.
It smells. I can smell the olive oil. The olive oil from Villa Capelli smells pungent and olivey.
It's unbelievable.
It's and peppery, and it's so good. I had to use basil as a prop today, so I saved it. Usually I'd put some basil leaves on there whole, but I'm just going to do just a shit ton of basil. Basil's so good. And you know what else you can do with your Villa Capelli olive oil, Vin?
What's that?
You can chop up basil like this, put it in a glass thing, pour Villa Capelli over it and shake it up, put it in your pantry and make a little basil oil. You don't want to, you want to use it up pretty quickly because you don't want any microbes from the basil screwing with you. But that's why I say do a little bit at a time in a little glass jar, make some basil oil. Ooh.
Hey, Anna, so go back. Villa Capelli. By the way, folks, Villa Capelli, you want to get some Villa Capelli. Vinny told her you want to put in Vinny at promo. I'm losing my
Oh my
mind.
God.
Put in promo code Vinny, VINNIE, for 10% off. If you go over $100, even after the discount, you'll get free shipping. Promo code Vinny, VINNIE, for 10% off at Villa Capelli. Anna, go back and tell me, what did you put in those tomatoes? Give me everything you put.
I just put salt and pepper.
Wait, you can stop right there. Wait, what are those two things?
Salt and pepper.
We're going to cut it short because, YouTube, we just have Anna dancing.
That's right. It's just weird.
Yeah, it just looks weird. And I promised Bill I'd do a lot less music. We were so choppy.
Oh, you really made him work for it last time.
Bill is.
I'm just doing some fresh mozzarella, putting this on there. And then I'm going to watch this. I'm going to put more Villa Capelli olive oil on there.
On top. Anna, that's a Villa Capelli crime on crime right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Look at that. You're going to put more salt? More salt?
Yeah.
More salt, Aaron.
Mm-hmm, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do too much because mozzarella has some salty flavor.
Bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pepper. Wait, what are you putting on there, Anna?
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, Paul Capelli was the man that gave us hope.
Oh.
That's right. What a mighty good man he was.
Mm-hmm. I'm just doing a little bit of balsamic.
All right, so you put the balsamic, you put the salt, the pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And Anna,
I mean, it's not cooking. But it's summertime. It's like the perfect summer.
Oh God, no! Where did you get the crazy? Where did you get the cheese from? Is that the good stuff?
Oh, it's just a grocery store. It's just a grocery store mozzarella. If you can make it, you can make it, you guys. But you can also get the fancy kind. It's not the burrata.
It's not the real stuff, right?
It's mozzarella. It's not burrata. I'm gonna put a little extra basil.
And should we educate the audience, the Midwest about burrata?
Yes, and stracciatella, which is very popular. By the way, all this pugliese food is very popular in New York. Lucy just went to a restaurant in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, called Bath House. And it is all like pugliese style food, and it's all gluten-free, grain-free. They do have 2 sweets on the menu, but it's all grain-free, the entire. So she was like, we have to go to this place when you come to town.
Maybe I might show up.
I know.
Why not?
Sounds awesome.
Why shouldn't I? I like to eat.
The caprese's ready. I'm gonna set it aside, and then I'm gonna start making this eggplant because the oven is now preheated. I gotta get this cheese out of here. Get this cheese out of my way. I'm not eating the cheese these days, so.
I would eat the crap out of that cheese, Anna.
I know. As well, you should.
So
move this stuff.
You had the mozzarella, you had the tomato.
Oh, this is what I want to show you.
You put the balsamic. What kind of balsamic was that, Anna?
It was just regular balsamic from the olive oil store. Because I'm in wine country now, so it's really easy to find.
Yeah, you get all the
high-end
good stuff.
Olive oil / balsamic.
So tomato.
But I still talk to them and I say I want to make sure no sugar's added. I don't want.
Right. You want the real
balsamic. Stuff. You want it distilled, and
that stuff from Modena, or was it made here in the United States?
That's a great question.
Modena makes the best in the world. They also make car engines.
They do. No, this is from Central California.
So, all right. So let me recap.
Not bad.
I
want to show you this. Can you see this? You can't see it, can you? There's droplets.
But you're sweating it, right? How long does it take?
Well, what have we been talking for? 20, 30 minutes?
Anna, about 30 minutes. Explain to people what's sweating something. We sweat cheese around here too.
Mm-hmm. And people think zucchini, squash. You could even sweat cauliflower because you're trying to get the water out of it. But it's not like where you have to press it, because if you press zucchini or eggplant, it's going to turn into mush. So you sweat it instead. So you put some salt, and there are little beads of water now all over the surface of this. And it just kind of makes it, when you cook it, it'll be a little firmer, because if not, the water will leak out in the cooking process and it'll make it all soggy. And nobody likes a soggy eggplant.
No. And look, I mentioned.
So I'm dabbing it dry.
You get yourself a good triple cream brie, and just put it out on a piece of wood for a couple of hours before you eat it, and just let it drip, melt down, let it sweat down.
Let that moisture come out of it, and then it's like,
and all the bacteria and everything is just is that much more delicious. Yeah, I will sweat a bunch
of
a
little
cheeses.
Flimsier now, but it'll wind up cooking firmer.
Yeah.
So
that's a little tip people normally don't get, Anna. That's right. Good stuff right there.
That's right. First of all, I'm going to do Villa Capelli because I don't like anything sticking to the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, she's in a glass pan there, folks. If you're not watching this on YouTube, she's got the glass pan.
I did a glass pan so I can show you guys. So I just drizzled I have, I had to use some Eat Happy Kitchen marinara.
Anna, I used the whole thing of it the other day. I took a couple of pounds of meat. I put it on the internet. And I took the marinara and I put it in my meat.
Yes. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I mean, thank you.
Ordinarily I would take this and I would dip it in the egg and then I would dip it in the stuff, but I'm not going to do that today. See, it sticks.
Yeah.
It still sticks.
So
it's going to be a light. This is pork rinds. It won't stick to the sides. Look, it won't stick to the sides, but it'll make a nice coat on the top and the bottom.
Yeah, keep it nice and warm. Put a coat on there.
Oh wait, crap! Hold on, no! I forgot. Let me put.
You got to put an egg or something, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing the egg today. You can do the egg for sure, and it'll make it a really thick coating. But what's in here is mostly crushed up pork rinds, and then just you saw me put maybe a tablespoon of the flax because flax gives a little crunch.
Yeah.
But I forgot to add my onion powder and my garlic powder too.
Oh, you got to put the onion, especially the garlic.
Onion powder and garlic powder are like my little flavor shortcuts.
Yeah.
Because
garlic just makes everything. I mean, you make ice cream, you put garlic in it, right? I mean,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
An NSNG garlic.
Make yourself a chocolate cake. You put a little garlic. Not bad.
Now, keep in mind, we put salt on these. Now, I have had people write me. I'm talking to you, Bob Zimmer, but also other people who've written me going, my eggplant, I made it. It was really good, but it turned out so salty. And then I say, how much salt did you put on when you sweated it? And they're like, oh, I salted it. And I was like, no, you just do a little bit. It gets it to sweat. You don't have to do it because then you will over salt it and it will taste like, And that's hard to do in this community because we all love our salt in the NSNG world. We really do.
A quick shout out, Anna, to Megan Hawks. What was Megan Hawks' last name?
That's her name, Megan Hawks.
Yeah, but there's 3 names, right? Isn't she like
Megan Hawks North?
Yeah. Big shout out. I want to thank her.
That's a really cool. That's a video game character name. Like she should be like a sniper or something on a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, where she's got like the bowie knife like wrapped on her thigh. Yeah, like that.
Exactly. She's Tomb Raider.
Yeah. I want to thank her for going out of her way and helping out in the group. Sometimes things get a little out of hand, and Megan came in there.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Megan. Anna, while you're doing that, can I talk about placeholders, workouts, or you need to explain?
Yeah, no, do it.
Okay, so folks, she put a little Eat Happy marinara on top of the olive oil.
I'm doing a thick coating, so I actually probably need to pour more.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at that, and I'm getting a little nervous that you don't have enough stuff in there.
I don't. So I'm going to wash my hands and add more.
Okay. So as you guys may or may not know, I'm pretty banged up at 58. I still like working out at a pretty high level. And, now I have so much arthritis in my neck that there's a constant impingement. I'm always in pain. It's almost like the shoulder used to be where I had all the atrophy in my upper body. I couldn't do anything anymore. So some days I just have to miss my workout. I might have, an upper body workout plan, like my bench press, shoulder press day, and I just can't do it because I didn't get any sleep the night before, or, I can't lift my arms up over my head. The impingement gets really bad. So I've been doing this my whole life. And I said, I've never mentioned this on the podcast, the placeholder workout. When I can't do what I had planned, I don't just go, oh, crap, screw it. And then next thing you know, you're eating bonbons.
You'll miss a workout.
Television. Right. I'll find something else that I can do. It might be as simple as walking up the hill down the street. It might be as simple as getting on the spinner that's just sitting right over there. Or if I can, the rowing machine. And usually if I do 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes of one of those things, I didn't do the workout I meant to do, but I also didn't sit around and get lazy and get lethargic. I was still able to do something.
Mhm.
And not only does that help your physical body, it helps you physiologically too, because, your brain sometimes just, when you get into that funk of, I'm hurt, I'm not doing what I want to do, that can just keep going in the wrong direction. That's why I find that the placeholder workouts are great. And like I said, sometimes it's just I walk out the door and start walking. I use that time to do something else. And by the way, it's not, hey, I'm at the skeet field so I can shoot double skeet. That's not working out, right? It's got to be some
Right.
form of workout, right? So I just wanted to say that, bring that up and let people realize that.
So you're saying, like, at the very least, go on a walk. Like,
Yeah. At the very least, just get out and walk and time it. I'll look at my watch. I still use a, old style watch. I don't use digital stuff. I like watching tick, tick, tick. I like watching my life go around in circles. And
that sounded very poetic.
I will look at it. I'll look at the watch and I'll note the time and I'll work out for X amount of time. And if I say I'm going to go for an hour, I don't go for 55 minutes. I'll make sure I'm out there for at least an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the way you want to do that. I noticed that Anna did not add a whole lot of salt and pepper to this eggplant thing. So I'm going to help her out. Oh, she wants to have babies, Anna. I'm out.
That's a
you
line. You so crazy. I think I want
Anna?
to have your baby.
I've never actually heard that song. Like, I knew it existed.
Oh, it's such a good song.
I knew the part. I didn't realize they rapped in the middle of the song. Yeah, I just thought they sang the whole time.
Oh, no. Salt and Pepper's going to do a little rap in the middle.
I want to have your baby.
So
Who's the lead singer in that? Was that?
I don't know their names. I don't remember. You see this?
Wait, hang on.
I'm going to top it with marinara.
Ooh. Is that Eat Happy Kitchen marinara, Anna?
Yeah, it is. And by the way, you would think we're having a really random dinner tonight, and we are, because I had to shoot all sorts of weird food today. So I was like, well, let's just start cooking this on camera because don't let it go to waste.
You're using my podcast to cook. You're killing two birds with one stone?
That's what I did last time I cooked.
Oh, okay. Hey, Anna, ask the Goombot that keeps running behind you in the picture if that piece of meat is done.
Hey, how's the ribs coming along? How are the ribs coming along? They're coming along.
Oh, that was your answer? They're coming along?
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous podcasting tonight, Anna. Fabulous.
Oh, he'll bring it out when it's ready.
I can't wait to see it.
My hand is like... Did your hand ever do that? Like it freezes, like if you're holding something and then you put it down and then it's like.
Anna, have you seen my hand? Look at all this. It's
my hand was just like I couldn't like.
All these nerves.
I guess my hand's gonna be that shape from now on.
No, you don't understand. All the nerves are all cramped up. I end up in positions. I've been wanting to water ski for years, like I used to, and I'm scared because I might grab the rope and I won't be able to let go. I'm scared that my hands will freeze on the rope.
It probably will. And then you'll die water skiing instead of having sex.
I wonder if I was at Lorna's campground.
This is all we have to do. We put it in the oven.
I throw it in the oven, Anna.
350. The recipe's in Eat Happy. That's a variation of it. It's all the recipes are very forgiving. When do you want me to?
Wait, hang on, Anna.
I have to read you this horrible keto diet.
Wait, before you do that, what's her name again? Lana.
Leona. She's making you playlists on Twitter and you can't think of her name.
Good too.
You're a terrible boyfriend.
I'm the worst. And that's why she would love me even more because I would treat her badly.
Oh God.
Yeah. All right. So I wonder if I forgot what I wanted to say about Leona. Oh, I wonder if they have water skiing up at the campground.
Depends on if there's a lake. Girl, you got a lake up in there?
Yeah. Leona, we need to know if you have a lake up at the campground.
Because he has to complete his water skiing fantasy.
Because I was good at that. I could really impress her with my water skiing. I could barefoot.
You know what I liked? when you would be on the lake and instead of on water skis, you'd pull the inner tube. What was that,
Oh,
tubing?
yeah. That was a
That was
form of
fun.
tubing. And the boat would go in circles and whip you around the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
More
fun.
kids got their shoulder and hips knocked out of socket than anything.
This kid didn't. So joke's on you guys.
Anna, did you water ski at all, or you just did a tube?
I think I mostly did the tube. I think I was not good at getting up on the skis. No, I did actually. No, actually I did. We used to water ski in Currituck, North Carolina. There's a place for you.
Get back into that, which means I would have to buy a boat.
Virginia is a good place to do it because you can go.
Yeah, you could go anywhere to do it.
Anna,
I don't have time to even go paddle my boat.
You should go to Currituck, North Carolina.
Currituck. Yeah, but I'm not going to buy a boat to go once. I'm going to just keep paddling my boat. That's good enough for me. My kayak.
We would swim in Currituck Sound, and that's where there were a ton of eels because it was the sound on the inside of the Outer Banks.
All right, spell that.
So the water was,
how are you spelling that?
I don't know. As a kid, Kurrituck. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm going to look that up and see how close. Let's see how close Anna was.
See how wrong I was.
You said Kurrituck.
Because what are those places? Was that close?
It's Currituck. Currituck.
All right.
Beach. Yeah, North Carolina. And it's on the inner banks of the Outer Banks. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it right here. All right, folks, meet up at Currituck next weekend.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna bring my conch shells. Ooh, I might be able to find some there.
You want to take a look? Bring it. Do you need a thing?
Give him a thing, Anna.
No, do you need a tongs? He doesn't need my help. I have a meat thermometer right here if you want to bring it in. You want cooked ribs are hard to get the meat temperature, but you want it to be around 195 to 205. But it's so thin, but you want them cooked through. You generally, the meat will cook up and the bone will stick out more, and that's how you know. Or if you lift it, it'll start to fall apart.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Let's see. Oh, can you flip it over for me? I need it flipped. I need it flipped for the presentation. Here, I got a thing. Woo!
Oh, look at that, Anna. Look at that.
That looks pretty darn. These are very meaty ribs, so I want to make sure that they are. Let's see what they're doing. By the way, I have like a million digital meat thermometers, and I'm like you. I like this analog one with the dial.
It makes a big difference, right?
I don't think we're ready yet. It's not moving fast enough.
Go slap that meat back on the grill.
Yeah, I guess I got to go back on. It's like 10 minutes. It looks great.
Hey, Anna, can I ask a meat question?
Yeah.
You ever boil your ribs before you just boil them down?
You absolutely can. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time. It's like fall off the bone good. You boil them down,
absolutely.
And then you just put them on the grill and just get them on it. Oh my God. Amazing.
Yep. And actually we were doing the gas grill, but usually we would do the big green egg. So it would be the smoker,
Yeah.
But we're trying to do it fast for the podcast. So we're doing it this way and it'll be fun.
I love the boiling. And also smoking is good too. Yeah. Go on.
Can I read you this? So my friend, fellow comic friend, who is a very thin and fit, non-binary gay man. Can you be non-binary and a man?
What is binary? What is non-binary?
Well, he identifies as a couple different genders, but he's very fit. He looks great. I know his pronouns are him or they, so I'm going to use him.
All right. So if you're binary,
comedian.
Hang on. If you're binary, that means I'm binary.
That means you're either,
I just go by him.
Right. And I'm she,
or,
so I'm
or
binary.
asshole. I go by asshole. So maybe I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. So non-binary means that you want to be called all kinds of shit.
Well, I think his pronouns are they, or their pronouns are they or him. But anyway, I was just giving some perspective so you know. So this is usually in the gay community, they're very fitness conscious.
You don't say.
If I can make a generalization, if I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
yeah, they will tell you that. Yeah.
I am not a gay woman and you're not a gay man, but we know that the gay community is very fitness conscious.
Yeah, you go to West Hollywood and it looks like Venice Beach used to look.
The most humiliated I've ever been on a beach was Egypt Beach or 2 Mile Hollow in East Hampton, where it's literally the Velvet Mafia of New York City. The most beautiful gay men you've ever seen. And I did not want to take off my cover up the entire time. And I'm not even a man. So I can't imagine how other people would feel on that beach. Anyway, so Chris is very fit and he's adorable. And he sent me this thing that came up as an ad in his Facebook feed or his Instagram feed. And it's from a company called Keto Cycle. Now he loves my books. He advertises my books. He cooks for my books. In fact, he sent me some delightful texts because he went back. He's from North Carolina and he went back home and he made the quesadilla casserole for his family to try to get them to try something without, because they didn't understand why you would not have grains. And they were like, we're not going to eat that. And they made him go get KFC for them.
They made him go and get KFC.
Yeah, they did. And so he went and got the KFC, but he said, I'm only going to get this if you try it. And then they tried it and they loved it. I'm like, hello, it's covered in cheese and taco seasoning and
yeah,
it's good. So I thought that was really funny that they were like, we're not even going to try that. But so that's his background is a little different, but then he's, bringing back this grain-free lifestyle to this NSNG lifestyle to North Carolina, which I love, made me thrilled. So I was like, well, if they can handle you being non-binary, they can certainly handle not having a few grains, right?
Yeah.
Apparently the grains was what really.
That's the part that threw him. Yeah.
That's the part that threw him. So he sent me this ad that came up and he was like, number one, this isn't keto. Number two, it looks like anorexia to me. And let me just read you this diet. It's a 28-day weight loss challenge, keto diet challenge. And it says, wait, there's a way to follow a meal plan and eat favorite foods. Well, that's the keto diet. And then it says see more, but then he didn't send me that screenshot. So here's breakfast. You ready for breakfast on day one?
Yeah.
Half a grapefruit. One slice. Hold on. One slice of avocado. 2 tablespoons on peanut butter.
2 tablespoons of what?
It just says 2 tablespoons on peanut butter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go on.
Okay. Whoops. Lunch. That was it for breakfast, by the way. Half a grapefruit, 1 slice of avocado, and 2 tablespoons on peanut butter.
What's a slice of avocado? What is a slice? A sliver of
that? A slice of avocado to me would be a sliver of avocado.
Okay, and 2 tablespoons.
Which why would you cut a whole avocado if you're only going to eat a sliver? It's going to go bad. You have to throw it out.
And a half a grapefruit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And 2 tablespoons. I'm assuming they meant of peanut butter, not on peanut butter. But
does it come?
But they also have a drawing of bread next to it. So cool.
Does it come with like a 38 special so I could just blow my fucking brains out?
Hold on, it gets better. You'll really want to kill yourself after I read this part. Lunch, half can of tuna. You can't even eat the whole thing. Aren't those cans like 4 ounces? Well, you can have 2.
Maybe. So a half can of tuna. This is a
enjoy
joke, right?
Enjoy your 1 slice of cheddar. Cheddar spelled CHEDAR. So that's also misspelled. 1 cup coffee or tea.
You got some nerve talking about them spelling cheddar after you spelled curry talk.
I know, I do. I'll judge a bitch. I don't care. Okay, that was it. Half can tuna, 1 slice of cheddar, and 1 cup of coffee or tea.
Well, now
also has
1 cup of coffee.
Bread next to it.
I would really have to shoot myself. All right, keep going.
Dinner. 3 ounces of meat. 1 cup of green beans. Half banana, 1 small apple.
Where did this come from?
It's a keto diet. It's from a company called Keto Cycle. It's not even keto. It's just anorexia, as my friend Chris said. And the drawings next to it, there's grapes, there's bread. But hold on, the next day you redeem yourself, because the next day on day 2 for breakfast, you have half a banana. I guess the half a banana left over from the night before. 1 hard-boiled egg. And then my favorite of this whole thing, 1 slice of toast.
It was a keto diet.
Mm-hmm.
And this
you talk
sounds
about
like
misinformation out there. People getting confused.
Right. This sounds like the crazy shit that used to go around my mom every summer back in the 70s. When
they would have a typed up little thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, me and all the other teachers are doing this summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like a grapefruit. And so you can have 1 grapefruit on the first day. And the second day, you have to have 4 eggs. You can have them whenever you want, and all the water you can drink. And on day 3, you can have, white rice, but only white rice. It was like,
hold on, we'll listen to lunch. This will relate to what your mom's diet was in the 70s. Lunch is 1 cup cottage cheese. If that's not a 70s diet food, I don't know what is. 1 hard-boiled egg, 5 saltine crackers. And saltines are spelled wrong. Dinner. This is my favorite thing I've ever read. 2 hot dogs without buns. I'd eat that. I love hot dogs. 1 cup broccoli, half banana, 1 small orange. What?
It's crazy.
Are you calling Marie?
I'm gonna see. Hang on. Let's see if we can get Marie. Calling my mom, folks. Hey, Ma, can I bring you on the podcast? All right, hang on. Let me see if I can plug you in. See if I can make this work.
Plug her in. Oh, no, Vinny.
Ma, you there?
Her.
I'm here.
Anna, can you hear?
Yes. Can you hear me, Marie?
Yes, I can. Hey, Anna.
Hello.
Ma, we were just talking, me and Anna, we were talking about these crazy diets you always hear about and this and that. Yeah. Now, I remember things better than anyone else, as you know, from childhood.
Yes, I do know. Yes.
Almost to a scary degree. And you would admit, Ma, I'm pretty accurate with my scary degree of knowing shit, right?
That's correct.
Okay. For once, she agrees with me, Anna.
Yeah.
Ma, do you remember those crazy diets, like when you were a school teacher, every summer you would come home and it would be like another like stupid crazy diet? It was like always printed up. You were doing it and Grace Ann was doing it.
Yeah,
they would copy it on the mimeograph.
Yeah.
Distribute it to the teachers. That's right.
I never heard the mimeograph in years.
Yeah. I'll bring you back, honey.
That is what we call the copier, the mimeograph. Right. And that is true.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
It's purple. Yeah.
We did fasting. We did Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers was very big.
Yeah. Ma, remember the summer, like one summer you came home and it was like, I just remember I couldn't have been more than 12 or 13. And it was like, one day you got to eat all the eggs you wanted, boiled eggs only.
Yeah.
And then it seems like, then it was like, like a soup, and then grapefruit. The next day I was like,
no, it was a cabbage soup.
Yeah.
You made this huge pot of soup with cabbage, and I forgot what else was in it. And you ate that all week long, I guess.
And then you just pooped your brains out.
Yeah. But now I really, really thought that you were going to tell me that you saw on Facebook today.
Oh boy.
Noom had Noom. Noom.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but what are they saying on Facebook? It's another one of these bullshit diets where they charge you a lot of money and all that stuff.
It's like accountability, which, by the way, just come to Clubhouse and have accountability. You don't have to do news.
It was they show a thing of French fries from McDonald's, and then right next to it, you can eat those French fries, but then you have to run or walk 2.75 miles to get that off of you.
You see,
Oh.
Mom, that drives me nuts because that gets back into the calorie in, calorie out stuff, which we
That's
know
correct.
never works. I mean,
Cut it.
look,
Exactly.
you're proof. I
Exactly.
mean, I've seen you gain and lose 100 pounds back in those days. Remember
That's
that? Remember
right.
that year when you and Grace Ann each lost 100
Yeah.
pounds?
Yes, and I see you don't see the pictures on the wall in the kitchen. The Morning Advocate did a story on her.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember that. And, you know, the crazy thing is you guys both lost all the weight and then gained more weight back because you were just doing
Exactly.
calorie deficit. You can't
Exactly.
white knuckle your way down to losing weight. It just doesn't work.
Exactly. And
Break it.
as I told my internist goodbye yesterday,
Mhm.
he day before yesterday, because I now have a new internist. He said, my wish is that you continue with you stay like you are. And I said, well, I'm trying.
Well, you're down at the healthiest weight you've been at forever, right? You're like 140 or
Exactly.
something like that, 135.
I'm 140, but now I'm gonna be honest with you. When I dropped to 137, 138, I eat a little something because I don't want to get to 135. I want to stay right where I am.
All right. Well, look, that's better than when you were at 300.
I was never at 300, Vinny. I don't know where you're
Vinny,
Uh,
don't
she-
accuse your mother of being
I'm
300
just
pounds
saying.
if she was
Hey,
not.
Listen, Anna,
This is really
Anna's
good.
over there cooking ribs, Ma. You should see. We're doing a video right now. You're not on the video, Ma, but look at that. That looks delicious, Anna.
That's
How
not
did
bad for a quick gas grill thing.
Yeah.
Took me a second to cut it. They're at an angle. I'm not cutting it good.
Yeah.
But no, I want to read. Listen to this diet we found on the internet that claims to be keto. On day 3 in the morning, it claims to be keto. Now, keto, is like NSNG, right? You're not supposed to have sugars and grains. So listen to what this keto diet is telling you can eat. Breakfast, 5 saltine crackers, 1 small apple, 1 slice of cheddar cheese. Lunch, 1 slice of toast, 1 hard-boiled egg, 1 cup of orange juice.
A cup of
Dinner.
sugar.
Hold on, it gets better. Dinner.
I wouldn't eat the bread or the orange juice.
That's right. So dinner is 1 cup of tuna, 1 cup of vanilla ice cream, half a banana, and 1 small apple. What is this diet? This diet's for insane people.
No, that is not right. Even I know that, and I'm not knowledgeable.
1 cup of ice cream, if only.
Yeah, I would like to have ice cream on my keto diet, Anna.
Right, exactly.
I don't know about the rest of you.
Let's see if I can cut this better.
My endocrinologist is a woman.
Yeah.
And she is from the Mediterranean. She and I are just like, she's old enough to be my granddaughter. And she and I are best friends. And she says, Miss Marie, I'm telling you, you are eating like they eat in my country.
That's
and
great.
I said,
I love it.
She said, but you do know that is in your genes also because you're from the Mediterranean too.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It sounds like you got a good doctor over there, Ma. That's good.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, she's my endocrinologist. But Vinny, she does make me do something that I don't think you'll like, but it's necessary.
Oh, geez. What? You're going to make me mad? Go on.
I'm going to make you mad. She's making me, along with my internist, they are insisting that I take calcium.
Why,
And
Ma? I mean,
I'm going to tell you why. Because in 80 years, my arteries have never clogged. My arteries.
So now they're trying to clog them up? I mean,
no, I need it for my bones, and they're right.
Okay, are you taking magnesium with it? Are you taking vitamin D with it?
I'm taking vitamin D, yes, sir.
You can't take my vitamin D because mine has K in it, and you're
I
also.
can't take yours. But we had to find a vitamin D that is without K. But
Yeah.
you know what the K does? It stabilizes something in it, they told me. But I have to read the label, and I got a Caltrate that does not have K in it.
All right, well, Ma, you just make sure you take your magnesium with that, please.
Oh, I am.
Jesus
And
Christ,
I'm
you know,
taking.
they're wrong. They're on the wrong side. Doctors, again, are on the wrong side of medicine. I swear to God, no one should be. Ugh.
But I know, Vinny, but listen, my bones are really not good. They really are not. And they are right. I'm not.
Ma, your
foolish.
bones are bad because you sat down and read books your entire life.
Well, what do you want me to do?
I mean, you look, I get it. What do you figure you read? 25, 30,000 books in your life?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I wouldn't even begin to think.
I mean, and folks, I'm not kidding. She was a librarian for how many years, Ma? 40 years, 35 years?
About 35.
And what did you do? You read like more than one book a day, right? Some days you would do like two.
Oh, yeah. No, while I kept a book, there was a book in every room in the house so that whenever I was in that room, I'd read that book.
Yeah, Anna, my memory of my mom when she dies is going to be with a book in her hand. Woman's read every book. Remember when you ran out of books in Donaldsonville to read? You had read everything in the library?
Yeah, I had to go to another parish.
Barbecue rub.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Mom, we're going to let you go. I just wanted to, I was thinking about those crazy diets and you know, I just wanted to see if you had remembered that. So that's good.
Yeah, and I'm glad you called because I want to ask you one thing before you go.
Okay.
You know what Boscoli is, don't you? The muffalata.
Yeah.
That's okay for us, right?
Well, you can have the innards of the muffalata. You can't have the muffalata bread.
Right.
No. We don't eat the bread. I'm using that Boscoli, the olive mix.
Ma, the problem, which one are you using? Because even the one from Central Grocery, I think even though it's olive oil, I think they put other seed oils in there. So if you feel achy, you know, you got to make that fresh if you're going to do it.
No,
you make it a tapenade?
Yeah, it's Boscoli.
No.
It's like a tapenade. Yeah, it's an olive salad.
Vinny, I'm gonna tell you what. I've been making Daddy a charcuterie in the afternoons, and I put that on different little things for him as a topping, and he likes that.
Well, if it stops him from drinking soft drinks, I'll go with it. But let me see if I can find one out there that doesn't have seed oils. I think even Central Groceries, I could find something.
Vinny, the one, find it and let me know. You hear?
It's going to be a fortune, but I'll find it.
Well, everything you tell me is a fortune. So
unfortunately, the good stuff, you know, when you get real stuff, is
a fortune.
Yeah, when you don't get the seed oils and all the other crap in it, you end up paying a little more. Folks, we're saying a fortune, but you got to understand. My parents grew up in the Depression era, and a penny is a fortune for them.
No,
they look at pennies.
That's correct. I do look at pennies. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
Because when she says a fortune, I need everybody else to understand when you say a fortune, it could be like 3 cents more.
Yeah, well, Anna, don't laugh.
I'm laughing. I gotta laugh. Anna,
she'll drive 20 miles to find gas that's 1/3 of a cent cheaper.
That is true, Anna. He is not lying. It is a joke.
She'll waste a tank of gas looking to save a penny.
For the cheaper gas.
Yeah. I've been with her, and you can't talk her out of it.
No, I get it.
I use only Exxon in my car, okay? And
okay.
I will go 20 miles out of the way to get the cheapest Exxon. Goodbye.
Remember when it was Esso? Put a tiger in your tank.
Yeah, I remember. It's still Esso in Canada.
Yeah, still Esso in your. Bye, Ma. Thanks for coming by.
Bye, Murray.
Bye. She was ready to go. She's like, bye, I'm out of here. I'm gone. Leaving. All right, so Anna, you're over there chomping down. Tell me what you got.
Okay, first of all, it took me forever to cut it. Y'all saw that whole thing. Cut it. He's eating his. This barbecue rub is perfection because here's the deal. All I did was rub it. We threw it on the grill. We didn't do any smoking. We didn't do any fancy things with it, and it's so good. They're cooked perfectly. About how long would you say you cooked them? 30, 40 minutes at about 300.
5 minutes side sear, turn off, get it off the direct heat, and then do it at 30.
5 minutes aside, seared, get it off the direct heat, do it another 30.
And that was because it was completely raw. And folks, if you go look at the video, this was a big slab of beef. This was not,
pork. Pork ribs.
Well, I'm sorry, pork ribs. There was a big slab of meat. So,
but now I'm going to take the thing out of the oven. If you want to wrap things up, I'm going to get this. What's it called? What did I make? Eggplant parm. This random assortment of food that I made. Last time I had a theme. This time my theme is I have to use up food in the fridge.
Yeah. You know the Italian word for
yeah, it's actually melanzane. So.
Yeah, moulion is the
no, that's the bastardized version.
Yeah, that's the Sicilian version. All right, folks.
Same thing.
Yeah, Italian is just Sicilian screwing up everything.
There we go. Easy eggplant parm.
Oh, folks, go over to the Instagram.
Chicken. You could do a little chopped steak. You could do whatever.
Chicken
but I was using up. I have a chicken parm video, very easy to make, on the YouTube.
Anna, can we do chicken parm here next time?
Yeah, easy.
Let's do it. Look, Anna's dancing. Should I put the music back on, Anna?
No, because Bill will get upset. We have to wrap up the show.
Yeah, I don't want Bill.
So if you see some dumb keto diet in your thing. By the way, people respond to those things because here's what happens, Vin. They get upset that the NSNG is not moving quick enough, so that they see these things come up in the feed, which they're going to come up in your feed because you're in these groups and you're talking, and they're going to come up in your feed. And let me tell you what, don't do it. Don't do it. A slice of toast and a cup of ice cream and 5 saltines and all that nonsense. You're back to not eating real food. Eat real food.
You're absolutely right, folks. If you want to eat real food, go get Eat Happy and Eat Happy 2. There's 2 cookbooks that we use around here all the time. Also,
I'll show you this. I'll show you
what is that? What do you have? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Is it real?
Puttanesca pink crema. These are real.
Is it real?
Mm-hmm. These are the sample ones. They're being manufactured June 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so I will let you guys know on the site as soon as they're up and ready for sale.
Anna, can you let me know privately the day before so I can get my order in?
I'll send you some. Yeah, they're only able to make little bits at a time.
Yeah, so I want to get an order.
I'm just going to send you some.
I want an order.
Morgan said, send him some. Make him order it.
Yeah, make him order.
You were saying that at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Send us coffee and I'll send you a.
Yeah, but that would require me doing something. I'd rather just
That's
pay.
True.
Okay, folks, go get Eat Happy 2, and check out all the stuff at Eat Happy Kitchen. I can't wait for these Eat Happy Kitchen rubs to come out.
Put the cheese on this.
You're
supposed to put cheese on it.
On top. You didn't put the cheese?
Because I'm so used to not eating cheese now, I forgot to put it on. Take it out of the oven like I did. Put the cheese on, put it back in the oven, let it melt. But you put the cheese on at the end or else it's going to get really dried out.
All right,
but I'm not eating cheese.
You don't want your husband to not have that. Go put some cheese on.
He'll be fine. He's eating ribs right now. He goes, go put some cheese on that. Don't serve that to your husband. He'll put parm on it.
Yeah. Okay. So, folks, before you go to Amazon, go to VinnyTartarich.com. Puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We also have the Superfan page at VinnyTartarich.com. You can go there and check that out. Thank you, everyone, for doing that because you guys are keeping the show running, and I really appreciate that. So, on behalf of Anna Vocino,
I got him the parm. He's going to be just fine.
Thank you, Anna.
He does not lack for something to eat.
I was getting worried.
But thank you for your concern.
Yes.
Someone has to be looking out.
Hang on, Anna. I'm trying to close out the show. On behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinny Tartarich. Put life into living and do it with enthusiasm.